can stay healthy, this team could be one of the dominant teams in the Eastern Conference.
Our officials tonight, Tim Donaghy, Derek Richardson, and Anthony Jordan. And we'll get to see the veteran, 13 years in the NBA, Kenny Anderson against Dwayne Wade. And Al Harrington is doubled with the ball knocked out. Both coaches we talked to tonight, Mike Woodson on the Atlanta side and Stan Van Gundy on the Miami side, saying defense is going to be the thing they'll stress the most, not only tonight, but the rest of these 2 weeks in the preseason.
Well, defense always gives you a chance to stay in games, especially a team like Atlanta, as we see Jason Collier step up and shoot a little open jump shot. But as you watch Atlanta, they're going to struggle to score. So they better defend. Because really, other than Al Harrington and Antoine Walker, they have no proven scorers on this team.
Miami comes in having won 3 consecutive preseason games as Shaquille O'Neal works on Jason Collier.
Well, that's a tough matchup for Jason Collier. The last time they saw each other, he got 5 stitches in his face, and Shaq scored 11 of the first 15 points. So right where they left off last time.
Here's Al Harrington, a first-time starter in his career. Although he was very important for the Indiana Pacers. Kenny Anderson to Antoine Walker with an offensive foul.
See, one of the things, Antoine Walker is going to look to post up a little bit more this year. In Boston, on that three-point line, they shot a lot of threes. Actually, in his career, he has attempted more three-point shots than free throws. That cannot be the case this year. He's got to get down on that block, get to the free throw line, and then somebody from Atlanta's got to make some open shots out of the double teams that he and Harrington are going to see.
So Anderson picks up his first. The Hawks come in having lost 3 consecutive games, 1 and 3. Nice spin move inside by Dwayne Wade.
He is such an explosive performer. Really improved so much last year. He was terrific in the playoffs, Kevin. Had against the New Orleans Hornets, he was terrific. Against Indiana, his game just grew and grew. He loves to get down on this baseline. You see he has the mismatch against Kenny Anderson. Much too strong, legs too fresh and young for him. He's going to have to get some help down there.
Eddie Jones just picked up a foul. And here's Jason Collier, who makes a move in, and a quick foul is called as he works on Shaquille O'Neal, who picks up his first. It's interesting what Stan Van Gundy said regarding how he is going to play Shaq tonight in terms of minutes given, and certainly keeping a lot in that tank.
Well, Shaq had a little bit of a hamstring problem, missed the first couple games, and now he's starting to round himself into shape. His body looks good. His weight is down. More important, I think, that he feels now that he's going to be the guy they're going to go through. He's the leader of this team. He's revitalized.
And O'Neal again with his second shot, cleaned up beautifully inside by Haslam.
He's had a terrific camp. Udonis Haslam's had a 18 and 11 game, 18 points, 11 rebounds. He's learning to play off Shaq. When you play with Shaq or Dwayne Wade, go to the offensive boards and you will get a tremendous amount of opportunities.
Looks like Al Harrington may have hurt a wrist or a hand on the offensive possession at the other end for Atlanta, as the Hawks are quickly down 6-0 in the opening couple minutes of this preseason special on TNT.
And give us some offensive power. Udonis Haslam 8 to 10 points, but basically said if we come out every night, play hard, and the players be all right, guys.
I think they're going to be fine as Antoine Walker wiggles his way for a couple, getting Atlanta on the board for the first time tonight. He's under 20 points a game in the preseason so far for the Hawks.
Well, Kevin, just to follow up that with Cheryl, when you play with Shaq, you have to have three-point shooting. And they've gone out, they've added Wesley Person to make some threes, Damon Jones. These guys have to make shots. And early in camp, their legs are a little tired right now. They're not shooting well, but as the season goes on, they will. You cannot single cover Shaq down there. Atlanta's going to have to do something to come down and give him some help, because there's no way Jason Collier can control him. No one man can guard Shaq down there in that low post. And he's moving very well, Kevin. His body looks good. He looks lean. And, you know, sometimes a change of scenery in your career is not all bad. I see a twinkle in Shaq's eye. We talked to him a little bit before the game. I think he knows the expectations on him here. He steps up and makes his free throw. And Miami sold out of season tickets already. There's a buzz down there like never before.
5 points already for Shaquille O'Neal. Last season, the Atlanta Hawks went 28 and 54 and cleaned house. As Harrington faces a double with Shaq out on the perimeter. Shot clock is at 4. And here's the ex-Celtic and ex-Maverick, Antoine Walker. Launching a three, collecting his loose ball, and kept up by Childress, the rookie from Stanford. Haslam. Collier knocked it away. Finally, Miami digs it out.
Well, that's one thing Josh Childress is going to have to do. He's going to step up and knock those shots down. Right now, he's only shooting about 30%. Sort of lost out there in terms of what he wants to do offensively.
Miami was 42 and 40 last season. That's a second foul. Jason Collier. So he's got two, and I don't know how you defend Shaquille O'Neal when you talk about the balance as we extend your thoughts on Shaq and what he means to Miami. Now let's look at it in the landscape of the East. What does he do now to that conference that he was doing so well in the Western Conference?
Well, he brings, again, the most dominant inside player in the game. So anytime you play against him, you have to game plan. What are we going to do with Shaq in the low post? And in doing that, chances are you're double teaming. So what you're doing now is scrambling on defense. So if you have shooters on the perimeter, a Wesley Person, a Damon Jones, a Rasul Butler, these guys who make shots, Michael Doleac can shoot the ball, Malik Allen can shoot the ball. So now they can make shots. You're so hesitant to help. And then you have to use your fouls wisely. I mean, you have to be able to make Shaq make free throws, especially late in the game. But, I would still say right now Detroit is a team. They've been there. They've played together. Indiana, and I would put Miami right there a little bit below those two teams right now. We'll have to see how it all blends together, Kevin.
Antoine Walker for two. Kevin Willis is now checked in for Collier at the center position. Walker's got 4 points in the game.
Well, you see, when you look at Jason Collier, he's a nice backup center, but to ask him to be your starting center, that's very, very difficult. Now you come in with Kevin Willis, who's very experienced and knows how to play. They're very weak at the center position, Atlanta, right now.
Miami 4 or 5 so far. Eddie Jones trying to slash, knocked away. Here comes Atlanta. And from the floor, they are shooting 2 of 7 with a foul called on Miami. Up his first.
See, I like what Antoine Walker is doing because in Boston, he would have shot that three. This time, he catches it and drives the ball to the basket. The nice block here by Kevin Willis. You can see Eddie Jones does not have his legs yet. He sort of stumbled as he went to the basket. That's a sure sign of training camp legs is what I call them.
For an older player.
For an older player, yes.
Walker with the screen. They try to get it inside. Eddie Jones, who's got some nice defensive skills. Anderson. Rebound by Jones. And Wade. Charge on Dwayne Wade, his first.
Oh, what a great read that time by Al Harrington. Al Harrington does a good job moving his feet. And what he did, he sort of faked at Dwayne Wade. And then look at him. Now he steps over and gets right into his path. The good part about that for Al Harrington, Dwayne Wade, normally a right-handed player, you would expect him to go right. He goes left, and Al Harrington is waiting for him.
Harrington on the low post. Where do they see Harrington in this roster, in this lineup?
They're trying to make him a small forward who not only can post but can play out on the floor. The problem right now, he doesn't trust his jump shot. Now there's what Shaquille O'Neal can do. He can pass the ball, and when Dwayne Wade plays off him like that, his game is going to be so much easier. He's not going to have to fight traffic so much. But a lot of easy layups.
Wade's got 4, and Childress for 2, and a Harrington rebound then lost inside. Wade, who played at Marquette, he finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year balloting a season ago. Butler with the missed 3. Shaq cleans it up and puts it down.
I sort of like that new option on my team. Stan Van Gundy, I've never seen him so happy.
Miami's got their biggest lead as Walker launches a 3. Kenny Anderson fighting off Wade for the rebound. Out of bounds. With 6:25 to play in the first quarter. You're talking about Shaq's passing.
Well, he's a great passer because he knows the double teams are coming, and he's always been a very unselfish player. Shaq really gets excited when he gets his teammates layups.
He likes to pass. Kevin Willis from outside. He is the oldest player in the NBA, 45 years old. 20th season in the NBA. A 3 by Jones. And the rebound collected finally by Miami. They are +3 in rebounding so far.
One of the things that Atlanta has done well in the preseason is they've gone to the offensive boards. They've done a good job with that. They're a team, Kevin, that's going to have to try to create some offense. We had a great chance to talk to Mike Woodson before the game. I mean, what a classy man. This guy is going to bring such an element of class to this organization. He's a terrific teacher. He's been with Larry Brown, played for Bob Knight at Indiana. The big thing for him is not to get frustrated because this team is undermanned in every game that they play, basically, other than maybe against Charlotte.
Keon Dooling is checked in for Dwayne Wade. Charlotte, the expansion team, the Bobcats. And here is Royale Ivey, a good-looking rookie out of Texas.
He was in Washington with me. He's now the assistant for Mike Woodson. They really like Royale Ivey. He's tough. He played at Texas. Good program. Rick Barnes, a terrific coach, and he brings an element to this team that they really need.
Defense,
but toughness.
Rick Barnes, a pretty tough coach down in Austin.
His teams play tough basketball.
Rasul Butler. Rebound by Haslam. And Butler, who goes by the rookie Ivey, launching again and puts Miami up 15-8. Their biggest lead has been 9. Up now by 7.
Rasul Butler has really improved his game. He came in as strictly a scorer. Now he's rebounding, playing much better defense, vastly improved player.
Kevin Willis across the lane, a former Atlanta Hawk for 10 years back in the 90s.
Well, he's a guy who can really help this young team, too. I'm sure that they brought him in here to be a teacher. He's the ultimate pro. You have these young players, Josh Smith, Dante Smith, these younger players. He can really help them.
Nice pass by Dooling, counted for 2 on the goaltend. So it is 17-10. And every starter has now scored for the Miami Heat.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Keon Dooling. He's really battled injuries throughout his career. He's an explosive athlete. Played at University of Missouri. Left early, but he's been hurt. Played with the Clippers. He's got a chance here. Let's see what he can do, Kevin, because he could really bring this team an explosive player off the bench.
Shaq just picked up his second foul. He leads all scorers with 7 points so far. And Shaq will...
It's difficult when Shaq can play a guy out on the floor who has the capability of making a 15-footer because when you close down on him now, Shaq, both of his fouls, Kevin, that he's picked up has been on a driving player, trying to drive to the basket. So if you can get him out on the floor, that's when you get a chance to attack him a little bit.
Michael Doliak is in, played last season with the New York Knicks and the Denver Nuggets. And a move inside by Josh Smith and a foul. Josh Smith is a kid right out of high school from Oak Hill Academy.
Well, anybody who knows Kevin Willis knows he loves that little, normally it's a jump hook. That time a running hook over that left shoulder. So I guess as you get older, you still add things to your game. He loves that little jump hook over his left shoulder.
So Dooling is now at the point as a foul is called on Royale Ivey out there with Haslam. And Wesley Person is in for the first time. Eddie Jones and Doliak manning the center position for Miami.
Well, they got a very good shooting team on the floor right now. Doliak can shoot the ball. Eddie Jones, when he gets his legs right. Wesley Person. Udonis Haslam, a very good offensive rebounder. So this team has to find a way to score with Shaq now and Dwayne Wade on the bench.
That's knocked away by Josh Smith and his second foul. As he went inside, he's out there with Childress and Ivey. Antoine Walker remains. And Kevin Willis.
Kevin, one of the things we should talk about is one of the new rule changes that the referees are really going to watch. I guess it's more of an enforcement than anything else. There was a lot of use of the forearm to contain dribblers. And they were rerouting players, bumping them off drives. And you're going to see a lot early. You see Tim Donaghy there, one of the fine officials in the NBA. A real point of emphasis is not allowing the defensive player to use that forearm and reroute the defensive player. You have to have that forearm up against your chest. You can use your arm, but if it has to be against your chest, if you extend it, it's going to be a foul.
They want freedom of movement for the offense.
Well, basketball is a game of movement and freedom. You should not be able to use muscle to take away from a guy's skill.
And Smith to Antoine Walker. Atlanta is 5 of 14 shooting so far. Walker digging it inside, working with Haslam and out of bounds. And off of the Atlanta Hawks. Here comes Miami the other way, and they are 8 of 13.
Antoine Walker looks good. He looks quick. The thing I like about him, he's getting down on that block. He likes a little block on the left side of the basket. He loves to spin baseline. The big thing now is for him to get to the free throw line. Kevin, I talked to him before the game. He did not shoot free throws well last year at all. And he said he worked hard, very, very hard on that during the offseason.
Well, he only averaged 14 points a game for Dallas, and here he's got the ball in the rebound. Wide open at the other end is Kevin Willis.
Kevin, 6 quick points off the bench.
Can you believe that guy is as old as he is? Kevin Willis coming in, and he's 42 years of age.
Yeah, but look at his body. The young players out there, this guy is one of the most proud players in the NBA, works every day, gets in the weight room, lifts, runs. Look the way he's kept his body. He's here now to help this team, and he's off to a great start. 6 quick points.
3:11 to play in the first quarter. Season in the league.
And he actually pulled rank on Josh Smith, who was not born when Kevin Willis played his rookie year. Josh Smith had number 42 when Kevin Willis signed, pulled rank on him and said, young guy, that's my number. You got to give it up. So Josh Smith did the smart thing, and I'm sure Kevin Willis will teach him a few tricks before this season's over.
Foul was called on Josh Childress. Lonnie Baxter is in the game now. He is the new entrant for the Atlanta Hawks. Otherwise, everything has basically stayed the same. Biggest lead for Miami has been 9. And at the free throw line, Keon Dooling out of the University of Missouri. The NBA regular season tips off November 2nd. It'll be exclusively on TNT as the Pistons take on the Rockets. Denver will be in Los Angeles against the Lakers. Coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Then Thursday, November 4th, Premier Week continues on TNT. Miami hosting the Cavs, Timberwolves taking on the Denver Nuggets.
Look at the youth right now on the floor for the Atlanta Hawks. We're trying to use Josh Childress a little bit here as a point guard, but he's a rookie. Josh Smith right out of high school. They set up a lob that did not work out of the timeout. That's an old Larry Brown trick. Look for a lob out of the timeout. So you know Mike Woodson learned that from Larry. Look at the youth out there right now. Lonnie Baxter, Royale Ivy, and this is what Michael Doliak can do. He can make open shots.
Wade is back in, but this is a 3 by Wesley Person, who has had a great history of hitting three-point shots in the NBA. In fact, he was in the top 10 in three-point shooting in this league in 95, 98, and in 2000.
Oh, he's a great guy to have on your team, but I talk about those training camp late. Going to the game tonight, Eddie Jones was 9 of 33 for 27%. Wesley Person, 4 of 19, 21%. Both of them 2 of 9 from 3, so you can see they just don't have their shooting touch yet.
Royale Ivy for 2. Royale Ivy was known more for his defense in the Big 12. There is a 4th rebound pulled down by Haslam. He leads all Miami rebounders. Leading scorer on the bench with 7, Shaquille O'Neal. He's got 2 fouls. And that's a quick foul on Childress, who picks up his 2nd.
Well, one of the things that Stan Van Gundy talked to us before the game, we asked him concerns, and 2 of the things he talked about, he said our defensive rebounding. Other than Shaq, we don't have a great defensive rebounder, so we're going to have to rebound as a team. And the other one is our screen roll defense. Last year, they were very aggressive. They trapped, they rotated, they had a small team. They started to do that, Kevin, the first game of the year. And then he saw that Shaq was running around picking up fouls, and so they've changed their screen roll coverage. So it's a little bit different system defensively this year to be able to blend in the talents of what Shaquille O'Neal brings to the team. They want to keep him around the painted area, not out on the floor where he picks up fouls.
35-year-old John Barry has just checked in for the Atlanta Hawks. He played at Georgia Tech as well. Here's Lonnie Baxter. When he played for Maryland, they won the NCAA tournament in this city. And that is a turnover. And that is the 5th for the Atlanta Hawks, and Miami, in contrast, has 2.
It's another area that Stan Van Gundy talked about. He said last year we had a small team. We were a very good ball handling team. This year I'm a little bit concerned that we take good care of the basketball. Tonight they're doing that.
Here's the Olympian Wade and Michael Doliak. He also played in the Final Four at Utah. Haslam coming off the baseline. He's got 5.
Well, see, Doliak can shoot the ball, so Kevin Willis ran at him, and he did the smart thing. He put it on the floor, and then when you get help, you drop it off. Udonis Haslam looks good.
10 points, the biggest Miami lead in the race right there. Is Kevin Willis has come off the bench, you mentioned it before, with 8 very impressive points.
They're going to be starving for someone to score off the bench. They've lost Chris Crawford, who really was the most explosive player coming off the bench.
Look at Wade explode inside, and Person launching a 2. Rebound retrieved by John Barry. He's played with a bushel full of teams in his NBA career. Josh Smith, Royal Ivey, and Kevin Willis. Shot clock at 10. 10 points for Kevin Willis.
He's having an 84 flashback here, coaches. He's turned the clock. It's retro night here for Kevin Willis in Atlanta.
He made the All-Star one time. He's 5 of 5 tonight. He's Kevin Willis.
All-time leading offensive rebounder and defensive rebounder in the history of this franchise.
Here's Wade, who is cracked by Ivey as he went up on the shot. Nice deceptive move made by Wade.
What Dwayne Wade is going to have to do this year to sort of tailor his game a little bit with Shaq, Kevin, is when Shaq is in the game, play off of him. Don't be in a hurry. Don't try to force anything. Be patient. And then when Shaq goes to the bench, they'll open the game up a little bit more. You see they have more shooters on the floor, and there'll be more dribble penetration. So start to figure out, when Shaq is in, I'll play this way. When Shaq is out, and then the game becomes real easy for you.
He was an Olympian.
And he played very well over there. I thought he was one of the bright spots for that team that did not perform very well in Athens. I was over there, but I thought he was one of the bright spots.
No fouls to give either way, and here comes John Barry, part of the Barry basketball playing family. For Josh Smith, covered by Person. Haslam is there with his 5th rebound. Final seconds of the first quarter in this TNT NBA preseason special. Dillon cannot get it to go at the buzzer. But how about this? On a night where the young are on display, it's the old-timer, Kevin Willis, at 42 years old, the oldest single player in the NBA, who's going to have a prominent role with the Atlanta Hawks, stealing the stage in the first quarter. At the end of one, the Atlanta Hawks trailing Miami 24-16.